Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. It is Tuesday, May 9th, and I am Deb Lutz, also known as D-Lux, and I'm here to take you through tonight's two-game NBA playoff slate. Super excited, love the Tuesdays, Taco Tuesday. We usually get a great crowd in here, and we got some really good games tonight. I am very nervous about my Phoenix Suns this evening. I'm going to be staring at the TV the entire time and double fingers crossed for some good luck because we need it. But that is not the first game. We also have Philly Boston, and that's been an exciting series for sure. Embiid has basically said he didn't show up at the end of the last game, needs to do more. But then, of course, he's listed as questionable. So what's up with that? But anyway, thanks for joining. We will get into it shortly. Figured I'd give a shout out to those in chat, starting with my man Stacks, who joined an hour and 14 minutes early today. So I like seeing what time he shows up, and it's pretty much been about his average. So appreciate you showing up early and getting things going for us. And Nathan Pewty is early to the chat today. So how's it going, Nathan? Glad you can join. Hope you are doing well. Absolute Power is back again for another edition, and going to work together to collect those Dollarooskies. Yes, we are. It's going to be a good one today. I'm feeling pretty good so far. So we'll see how things shake out. Embiid is obviously the big news. I fully expect him to play. Can't imagine, he was voted in as MVP. If he does not show up, he is not MVP of the league. Let's just put it that way. So expecting Embiid to join and pretty much be the powerhouse on Philly, I think. Anyway, so let's get things going here and start talking about the games. Do a little game scripting. I'll tell you who I like and who I'm fading. And we'll start things off with the 7:30 Eastern game, Philly in Boston. Boston is favored by 7.5. So it was crazy because a couple of games ago, it was in Philly and Boston was still favored. I thought that was wrong and nailed that one correctly. In this case, I think it's kind of right. I think Boston, they should have gotten that last game. They didn't win it. It was in Philly. They're heading back to Boston. They know they got to win this one. It's a 213 over under, so projected to be a little bit of a defensive battle. And I think Boston does take care of some things tonight. First and foremost, I think they're going to show some strong D against Harden. I don't think he's going to have quite as magical of a night. Tyrese Maxey, I love his game. He's a great player. This is a super hard defense for him. He never seems to have his big games against Boston, and I think that continues. As we know, Tobias Harris just sort of fades into the background with this lineup. Can't seem to get the usage going when you've got Harden and Embiid and Maxey in there. So I don't think he does too much. And then PJ Tucker, great on defense, terrible for fantasy. So I think that's how it all rolls tonight. I don't think this is a particularly high-scoring game for Philly. I think Boston's defense is going to be a little stifling. I do think Embiid will play well. I think he's going to be a little bit of a ball hog, so the usage is going to be there. So that may get him into some high fantasy numbers. He's the only guy that I'm really looking to play, believe it or not, on Philly. I've been playing Melton a bit in the past. He's kind of up and down. Not sure I would necessarily go there tonight. I'd much rather play some of the sort of second-tier guys on the Boston side of things. So I don't think Philly goes deep tonight. I think they go like 6 men, maybe a little Niang, but not enough to really roster. And like I said, my money's going on Embiid tonight on that side. On the other side of things for Boston, I do think they play really well, both offensively and defensively. So I think there's some opportunities for some of the Boston players. I just think Jason Tatum, has been playing great overall with the exception of the one game. I think he has a big game tonight, better than Brown. So if you're thinking about one or the other, I'm preferring Tatum. He's just been playing better overall. And then you have a whole bunch of, secondary guys who just seem to be really hitting right around their numbers. Al Horford, he has been, he looked locked down on defense. He was confusing Embiid the end of last game, looked amazing. So he's super crucial. He's going to be playing a ton of minutes. I like his pricing. I also, of sort of the threesome of Marcus Smart, Derek White, and Brogdon, I favor Brogdon the most, followed by Smart and then White. So that's the order that I'm going to be looking at them in. Probably not really looking at White at all, although last time we spoke, I shared with you that I liked White as a GPP play, and he did have I believe he had a good game in that game. Let's pull that up. Yeah, he had 46. No, that's against Atlanta. He had 22 fantasy points, so not great, but better than his other games where he's only been in the team. So again, GPP only for me on White. He really hasn't been delivering like he did last season in the playoffs. But I love Brogdon coming off of the bench as six-man. So that's where I am with this first game. It's the lower scoring game of the two. I think there's going to be some good defense. And from a pay-up standpoint, probably only going for either one of Embiid or Tatum, and then filling in with like a Horford and a Brogdon or Smart. All right. So let's move on to the second game, which I'm going to have a little bit more exposure to. Denver's favored by 6. It's a 227.5 over under. It is back in Denver. Tough place, tough environment for Phoenix to play. I think that showed itself in the first couple of games. And, I'm really nervous. My heart is with Phoenix, but my brain is saying that Denver's going to take care of business. They've lost 2 straight. They're not going to lose a 3rd straight. When you watch this Denver team, man, they look good. If the Suns can't beat them, I actually see Denver winning it all. Maybe they're a little bit short on the bench side of things, although you just really don't need your bench in the playoffs. But boy, talk about, a top 5 that's got Murray and the Joker, and then your support staff being Aaron Gordon, who's been playing great, Michael Porter Jr., who I think has yet to see his best game. And then you've got, Caldwell Pope and Bruce Brown, 2, wily veterans who can get it done. So nobody can stop the Joker. And I love the defense that Shamit's been putting on Murray. He really did slow him down last game, but I think Murray's got a few tricks under his sleeve, and I think he goes back to having a good game. So, on the Phoenix side of things, Booker's just been unbelievable. I've never seen him play this well, this confidently. His shooting percentage is off the charts, and his shooting percentage is higher than the Joker's. And he's just been playing outstanding. I don't think that sustains itself tonight. I think he's got to have a little bit of a setback, I think primarily because they're going to be doubling him more, certainly when the ball's in his hands. And it's in his hands a lot because Chris Paul is still out. So I do see them doing a lot of doubling. And what I'm thinking actually is instead of Booker tonight, going with Durant, who has not been playing. He's not been as efficient as Booker. He's out there a ton of minutes and gets a ton of touches and does a number of things. I think he has a better game tonight. I think he realizes that he needs to, and I think he pulls it together and more of a classic 48 to 50% shooting percentage versus his 40 to 45% that he's been doing. I think he drives to the basket a little bit more, and I'm excited, to see him play, and I'm banking on him as opposed to Booker tonight. Don't really give much credence to Okogie. I think he's a good support player, but mostly there for defense. They're not giving him a lot of offensive looks. And Ayton, don't know what's going on with Ayton. I was at the last game, and his first couple of minutes, he was all over the place, rebounding, blocking shots. He looked outstanding, and people were cheering him on. It was super exciting. Thought, okay, this is going to be fantastic. And then he disappeared. Kind of classic Ayton. And frankly, Landale was finishing out most of the game. So he only played 27 minutes and had 8 points and 8 rebounds. So not much there, and I won't be going to him tonight. I may be going to Landale. Inexpensive pricing. He did a pretty good job against the Joker, and he certainly can be out there when the Joker's not. He played 21 minutes. And, he's an offensive weapon, and he's out there. He's been, kind of blocking, stealing. He's been on the floor going after balls. I think, Monty's getting some more confidence in him and likes his game. So I do see him, getting certainly all the backup minutes of Ayton. And so, between the two of them, they played the 48. It was a 27-21 split. I see it being fairly similar. And so I think Landale's at a good price point. The other guy that I like is Landry Shamet. He was feeling it the other night, and I'm hoping that can continue. Loved his defense on Murray. I think he's got to be out there as a result of that. I think he's got a better defensive game than Campaign. I don't think they quite trust Campaign. Sometimes he does a couple of things with the ball that makes you cringe. So I think that there'll be a balance there as well. But I think Shamet's going to get more of the minutes as long as he's hitting his shots. If he's not hitting his shots, they're going to go to a Terrence Ross. But I think they're going to give Shamet a chance. I think he earned it in the last game. So we'll see how that goes. So, so on the Sun side, Durant over Booker, possibly Landale and or Shamet for some value options. Over on the Nuggets side, I just think, the two stars are going to both have great games. Joker's usage in the last game approached 50%. I think it was like 48%. He had 53 shots, 11 assists. What was bizarre was he only had 3 rebounds. So that was crazy. He was definitely playing a different kind of game. But that's the thing about Joker. I mean, he can triple-double. He can score a lot. He can block. He can do it all. And he just looks fantastic. And I don't think that he can be stopped. So definitely high on the Joker tonight. I think he's, I think he's a better player than Embiid right now. And I'd give the edge to him if you're looking to pick up one of the two expensive big men. I'd go to the Joker. And then I also like Murray. He's playing a ton of minutes. Like I said, Shamet did a nice job on him defensively, but he figures out how to get it done. When he wasn't getting his shot up, he was throwing out assists. So I do like him a lot. And then I think one of Porter Jr. or Aaron Gordon are going to have a good night tonight. Both were in a bit of foul trouble. I actually think that Porter Jr. Might be the guy tonight. He was hitting his shots early on. Then they pulled him, really strange. And he did not have an impact on the game much in the second half. But I think they're going to get him more involved. And I think he's got a good opportunity because if they're doing any doubling at all, he's the guy who's going to be left open. Well, although I guess Caldwell Pope will be left open as well, but Caldwell Pope I think is just not from a usage standpoint, just not going to be getting as much. So I am looking. I'm looking at Murray maybe for not Murray, but Porter Jr. maybe for a GPP because he might be a little less owned. And then if you want to go for somebody a little bit more solid who's going to be there getting the minutes, low ownership, but maybe if he gets a couple of stocks, you're in luck. That would be Caldwell Pope. So, that's it. I mean, it's pretty straightforward with these two games. But I do see, Boston and the Nuggets both taking care of business tonight on their home courts. And I see the Denver game being about 15 to 20 points higher. So look for a little bit of an edge there. Doug L, hey, how's it going, man? Thanks for joining. Yeah, it's Gordon has been playing well. I totally agree. He was in foul trouble the last game. I think that I think Durant gives him a little bit of trouble. So that's my only concern there. But I do think he's been playing well. Take a look at pricing wise. I'm not really sure between he and Porter Jr. who's more expensive. I think that Porter Jr. has a little bit more upside when the Joker's playing. So, I think Gordon has been consistent, pretty much like 25 fantasy points a game the last 5 or 6 games that he's been playing. So you kind of know what you can expect with him and not a lot of upside there. And he doesn't quite, at 25 to 28 fantasy points, doesn't quite get you there in terms of how he's been priced, but solid for sure. So, anyone in the chat have any questions about the games or anything that they want to ask? Should be a fun night of basketball tonight. I'm really looking forward to it. And we got some good series going on now. So who'd have thought Lakers would be up 3-1? Okay, so if that's it, we will get you out of here and look for those lineups posting about a half hour before 4 o'clock. And other than that, I appreciate you guys joining, and we will see you tomorrow as we look to crush it in Coach Talk DFS.